All right, so you ready for this one? Our listener sent in this MDA Traffic sales page, and whoa, it is intense.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. So let's break it down. They basically say that they've got this system, and it's gonna get you free traffic from Google.
Yeah.
And specifically targeted at like internet marketing and make money online products.
Yeah.
All through some secret loophole. And it only takes like 10 or 15 minutes of work each day.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Does that sound a little too good to be true?
It definitely sounds like a pretty bold claim.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's spent time online has seen these kinds of promises before.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I think it's natural to be a little skeptical.
Totally. I mean, that was my first thought. Like, okay, here we go again, another one of these things. But maybe I'm being too cynical. What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's definitely some potential there, but we need to look beyond just the surface.
Right.
We really need to kind of analyze the mechanics underneath the sales tactics and see if there's any real substance there.
Yeah, for sure. So, like right off the bat, what are some of the tactics they're using here to try to, hook people in?
Well, the first thing that jumps out at me is the scarcity tactic. You see it everywhere on the page. Limited time offer. This opportunity could disappear at any moment. That kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Like a digital fire sale.
Exactly. It creates a sense of urgency, Like, you have to act now or you're gonna miss out.
Right. FOMO. Fear of missing out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they've got all those glowing testimonials.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone's making tons of money and they're so happy.
Yeah, the social proof angle.
Right.
Always a classic.
They rounded up every happy customer they could find and just said, tell us how amazing we are.
Yeah. And, those can be pretty persuasive.
They can be, but it's important to remember that we're only seeing one side of the story.
Right. Exactly. We're only seeing the success stories, not the people who maybe didn't have the same results.
It's like those perfectly filtered Instagram photos.
Right.
It's not always the whole picture.
Right, exactly.
Okay, but let's get into the actual system itself. So they lay out 5 main ingredients, they call them. And the first one they really emphasize is leveraging other people's products and like interest spikes.
Yeah.
So what does that even mean?
Well, basically, instead of like creating your own product, they suggest that you kind of tap into the buzz around someone else's launch.
Oh, interesting.
So an interest spike is just when a product is first released.
Okay.
And it gets all this attention and all this traffic.
Makes sense.
So you're kind of catching the wave of someone else's marketing.
So you're not building your own audience then. You're just sort of borrowing someone else's for a bit.
Well, that's one way to think about it.
And that just seems a little risky to me. Like, what happens when that initial buzz dies down?
Well, that's a good point. The question is, how sustainable is that strategy?
Right.
Can you turn that temporary traffic into something more lasting?
Yeah.
It definitely requires some careful planning and execution.
Okay, and then they also talk about utilizing high DA websites. Now, I'm guessing not everyone listening is familiar with that term. Can you kind of break that down for us?
Sure. DA stands for domain authority. It's basically a metric developed by Moz that predicts how well a website will rank on search engine result pages.
Okay.
So essentially, it's a measure of how authoritative and trustworthy a website is in the eyes of Google.
So the higher the DA, the better.
Exactly.
Okay. So they're saying to try and get your content onto these high DA sites, and then their good reputation rubs off on you.
Yeah, that's the general idea.
Like, hey, if this awesome website is featuring this person's stuff, they must be legit, right?
Yeah, it's about leveraging the authority of those sites.
Okay, but it's not just about getting on a popular platform. You still need to have good content, right?
Right. You still need to create value for the audience of that high DA website.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's the next ingredient in this secret formula?
Well, they call it transition CTAs. It's like a bridge, between the content that you're creating on that high DA website and the actual offer you're promoting.
Okay, so you're not just putting a banner ad on their site and calling it a day.
Yeah.
You're creating content that's relevant to their audience, but you're kind of subtly leading them towards your own offer.
Exactly. It's a much more nuanced approach than just a straight-up sales pitch.
Right. More about building trust and providing value before you ask for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Anne. Speaking of creating content, the next ingredient they mention is AI. And AI content creation. That's a big topic these days.
It is.
Some people love it. Some people are a little freaked out by it.
Yeah.
What do you think about using AI for this kind of marketing?
Well, AI can be a very powerful tool for sure.
Yeah.
It can help you come up with ideas, write drafts, even optimize your content for search engines.
And it can do it all really fast.
Yes, incredibly quickly.
Which is, I mean, that's a big appeal, right?
It is.
Especially when they're promising you can do all of this in 10, 15 minutes a day.
Right.
But does it sacrifice quality for speed?
That's the key question.
Right.
Like, AI can create content so fast.
It can.
But it's still just a tool.
Yeah.
It's not some magic solution.
Right.
You have to know how to use it properly.
Right.
You need to refine the output
Yeah.
and make sure that it's good quality, engaging, accurate, and valuable to your audience.
So it's not about letting the robots do everything for you.
Right.
It's more about using them strategically
Yeah.
to make your life a little easier.
Yeah.
And hopefully improve your content.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've gone through the 5 main ingredients of their system, but they also talk a lot about focusing on certain niches, like internet marketing, business opportunities,
Yeah.
and the make money online world. Why do you think they emphasize those so much?
Well, I think their argument is that those niches are particularly receptive to this kind of marketing because the audience is already actively looking for ways to make money online. So they're more likely to be open to affiliate offers and opportunities.
Like, Joe, don't try to sell ice to Eskimos.
Right.
Go where the people are already looking for what you have.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, they also offer this bonus. They call it GAP,
Yeah.
which stands for Guaranteed Affiliate Approval to Promote. What is that all about?
So it sounds like they're not just teaching you how to get traffic.
Right.
They're also giving you a product to sell and earn commissions from.
So you basically become an affiliate for MDA Traffic itself.
That's right.
That's interesting. I mean, it's smart from a business perspective, right?
It is.
But I wonder if it kind of adds extra pressure on the buyer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
now you're not just learning the system, you're also feeling obligated to sell it.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So we've got the guarantees and disclaimers. They do offer a money-back guarantee, which is always reassuring. But they also have that disclaimer saying that the system doesn't guarantee you'll actually make any money.
Right.
So how do we make sense of that?
Well, it's that classic guarantee disclaimer dance.
It is.
They want to make you feel secure.
Yeah.
They also want to protect themselves legally.
Makes sense.
So they're basically saying, we guarantee that the system works as we describe it, but we can't guarantee your individual results.
Which is fair,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
your success depends on a lot of factors, like how much effort you put in, how well you apply the strategies,
Right.
maybe even a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
So you can have the best system in the world,
Yeah.
but if you don't take action and you don't adapt to the changes online, it's not going to make you rich overnight.
No, definitely not.
So
Right.
what are your overall thoughts on this MDA traffic system?
You know, it's more nuanced than I thought it would be.
Okay.
It's definitely not some get-rich-quick scheme,
No.
but it does seem to offer some valuable insights,
Yeah.
especially if you're interested in leveraging existing platforms and trends to drive traffic.
I agree. It's a potentially viable approach.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah.
have to go into it with realistic expectations.
Yeah, and a critical mindset, for sure. So, what's the takeaway for our listener who sent this in? Should they invest in MDA traffic or run for the hills?
Well, ultimately, that's their decision.
Right.
We've given them the information and hopefully some insights
That's it.
to help them make an informed choice.
Yeah.
So, if they're willing to put in the work and they understand how the system works and they're comfortable with the ethical considerations, then it might be worth looking into further.
I think that's a good assessment.
Yeah.
We always tell our listeners to do their research
Always.
before investing in anything. And remember, there are a lot of different ways to be successful online.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to experiment
Hmm.
and find what works best for you.
Yeah, it does seem like there's some potential there, but
Yeah,
like you said, it's not a magic button. You still got to put in the work.
absolutely.
You know, one thing that stood out to me was the whole intra-spikes thing. It's a cool idea to like tap into existing momentum, but it makes me wonder about long-term sustainability. Like, how do you make sure that you're not just constantly chasing the next big launch? You know, how do you build something lasting?
Right. Well, that's where the real skill comes in.
Yeah.
It's about capitalizing on those initial bursts of traffic,
Yeah.
but then you need to have a plan to convert those visitors into like loyal followers or customers.
It's not just about riding the wave.
Right.
You got to build your own surfboard along the way.
Exactly.
I like that.
You need a solid foundation to stand on once that initial wave subsides.
Right.
So that might involve building an email list,
Yeah.
creating your own content hub, establishing a strong presence on social media.
So even though the MDA traffic system focuses on using other people's platforms, you're saying it's still important to cultivate your own online space.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's all about diversifying your traffic sources and building a sustainable online presence that you control.
Makes sense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
You want to have multiple streams of traffic,
Yeah.
so you're not reliant on any one platform or strategy. Right, and that's why it's so important to keep learning.
Yeah.
The online landscape is always changing.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be adaptable and willing to adjust your approach.
It really is like surfing.
It is.
You have to be able to read the waves and adjust your balance to stay on top.
Yeah,
You can't just stand still and expect to ride the same wave forever.
that's a great analogy.
And that brings us back to realistic expectations.
Yeah.
There are no guarantees when it comes to online marketing.
Nope.
MDA Traffic might give you the tools and the strategies, but it's up to you to actually use them effectively and navigate the ever-changing world of the internet.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination.
Right.
And the more you learn and adapt and refine your approach, the more successful you'll be.
Well said. I think we've given our listener a lot to think about today. It's been a really interesting look at MDA Traffic, and I hope they have a better understanding of what this system offers and what it really takes to succeed in online marketing.
Yeah, me too.
And hey, even if they decide that MDA Traffic isn't for them, the things we've talked about today can be applied to any online venture.
Absolutely.
It's all about building a strong foundation, staying adaptable, and never stopping learning.
Couldn't agree more.
And hey,
Yeah.
at least we got a good laugh out of those over-the-top sales tactics.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you just got to appreciate the showmanship.
For sure.
Okay, well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep riding those digital waves.